gun salute for Bubba, execution style, firing squad. And the trial is a farce.
Oh, yeah, and Bubba's played by Dr. Giggles.
Yeah, Larry Drake of Dark Man. And
plays a great retard.
He does a pretty good job, I will admit.
Oh, come on.
He's not like DiCaprio from Gilbert Grape or anything, but...
He paved the way for that.
I think DiCaprio's performance in Gilbert Grape is the best.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
Mentally handicapped performance on screen.
But Larry actually looks the part. He looks like his
DiCaprio looked the fucking part in that movie.
No, I'm talking about in just walking around the street.
Yeah, and just in real life, Larry Drake kind of looks the part.
Yeah, he does.
But
he doesn't look fuckable like DiCaprio, that's for sure.
So the judge, they throw it out, and all the lynch mob, they get away with it. And the lynch mob actually consists of quite a few familiar faces. You'll recognize the leader, the postman guy, is
from Brother.
Yeah, from Oh Brother Where Art Thou. He's like the fat, mean politician guy. And his buddy with the wood chipper is the dad from Son-in-Law, that awful Pauly Shore movie.
That's synonymous. That's a
it just goes without saying.
Yeah,
I don't know. Some people like Encino Man and Biodome.
I don't like any of that. I don't like the buddy thing. I never liked it.
Buddy comedies?
No, the buddy.
Oh God! Don't do that. Don't do that.
It's not.
It's don't do that. And the other fat guy is the lieutenant from Bride of Reanimator. Yeah. And then the retarded guy, the mechanic. I'm not sure if he's anyone from anything, but he's probably. I don't know. All the acting in this movie is really good.
Yeah, especially from Bubba's mom.
Even the child actor does a decent job.
Yeah, she never strays off to where you're like, oh, you can tell she's acting.
So shortly after they get off on the charges and rejoin the real world, the Scarecrow appears at the son-in-law guy's field when he's working on his wood chipper.
Yeah. And that's the second time it shows him with the wood chipper, so you know.
Yeah, the wood chipper's coming into play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Later on that night, the guy goes out to his barn to check on something and climbs up into the loft because he hears some noise, and the wood chipper starts, and he falls and grabs the light. And it's a well constructed scene. There's tension. I mean, you know what's coming, but it's still like
and since it's on TV, it's cut away, and it cuts right to a plate with...
Yeah, that transition's fantastic, the glop of red jam onto the plate.
Yeah, it goes from him getting killed in the wood chipper to the next scene at a diner or wherever it was.
Wood chipper jelly transition. It's at that boarding house where the postman lives.
Oh, okay.
They're all having breakfast that morning. They rule it an accidental death, and the mob decides to... one of them has an actually kind of halfway smart idea, if... when they found the guy, the wood chipper was turned off. And if it was an accident, then the only way that the wood chipper would have been turned off is if the gas tank was empty.
Yeah.
So they go to check the gas tank. And it's a lot of little touches. Whoever wrote this movie threw some nice little touches in there.
I mean, rednecks probably would think of doing
Sure, yeah.
I
mean, even in, Sling Blade, it ain't got no gas in it.
But I was thinking, would I think of that? If I was trying to get away with murder, or if I wanted to... find out if something weird was going on, would I think to go check and see how it got turned off? Maybe not, because I'm flooded with other shit, but they're rednecks, and that's all.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it even occurred to them that the machine was turned off, and that means that it wasn't just an accident.
Yeah,
I mean, that's...
If someone killed them, they turned it off.
Yeah.
And find out there is gas left.
Yeah, they do, in fact. It's almost full. And then the Scarecrow appears at the Bride of Reanimator guy's pig farm, or whatever the Christ it is. And so he goes to tell the mailman.
It's a constant run to the mailman and tell him something happened.
Get back to the ringleader. Because, I mean, he's the one that instigated the whole thing. He went from seeing Larry Drake and the little girl through the binoculars to talking to the son-in-law guy, and he riled up all of them, and he got the fucking mob together.
And then he finds out that something did happen, because that was his thing. If anything happens, could you live with yourself? He was already planning on killing him before any of this happened, and the guy's like, "Oh, come on," whatever his name is. He's like, I would do something if something happened. I don't even know where I'm going with that.
Ken got too high again.
Yep. It's great, though.
One of the little touches we forgot to mention was, right after they kill the guy, right after they kill Bubba, like the radio.
Yeah, they place a rake in his hand to look
the
like
pitchfork to make it look like he had a weapon.
Rake.
With the pitchfork, which will come back into play later. But, and the call comes through on the guy's radio, and it's like, oh, that little girl's not even dead, and we found out she was attacked by a dog.
And Bubba saved her life.
Yeah, turns out Bubba saved her life. So call it off. This was like, I swear I've seen at least parts of this before, maybe. I don't know, but I think this is...
I don't think I have.
I think this is the first time I've seen it, and it was still... There were little things that you knew, like, as soon as they killed him, and the call on the radio came in, you knew it was going to be like, oh, stop, this is what really happened.
Yeah.
When the dude's wife walked over to him when he's working on his wood chipper and kept staring out into the field, you knew it was because the Scarecrow was standing there.
Mm-hmm.
Just little things like that just come with watching 20,000 movies. And
then this is when the postman guy goes back to Bubba's mom's because he's thinking that she has something to do with this, possibly.
There's some stuff in between there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, before that is when the mailman dude goes to the Halloween party, and like we really...
No, that's after. It's not revealed till she yells at him when he's leaving, remember?
Oh, yeah, when he... Oh, I thought you were talking about...
No, I'm not going to talk about that. So he goes to...
Yeah, he goes to intimidate the woman, his Bubba's mom, because he thinks that she's the one putting the Scarecrow all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a feeble old lady. I seriously doubt. I was thinking, does he think she knows voodoo or something? Like, how is she has anything to do with this? People dying.
Well, not initially, but eventually he comes to the conclusion that it's the little girl doing all of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's just, like, desperately grasping at straws.
So when she tells him to leave, and then she turns it on him. She's like, I know how you look at that little girl.
And that's the...
It's like, it's a small town. People are going to find out.
It's a pretty big reveal there. And that goes all the way back to the beginning of the movie when he's looking through the binoculars. Like, you are at first led to believe that he's only doing that because he's concerned about the well-being of the little girl hanging out with the retarded guy. When, come to find out...
He only knows that because he's been watching her.
He's just been watching her because he's a fucking creeper. So he comes to the Halloween party, and...
See, we shouldn't have done this as a Halloween movie because that's the only Halloween part of the movie.
Right.
Was the party.
Well, I mean, we're like a week after Halloween at this point. So.
I know that, but we were going to do this on Halloween.
Yeah, we were. That whole scene with him in the hallway with the little girl is very creepy. An effectively creepy asshole. We were talking about that. Like, I wonder if after that people would see him on the street and just be like,
Yeah, that's why a lot of actors don't play those parts. They don't want to be associated. Like the Sleepless cast, it was Kevin Bacon was a child fucker, and you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, the Woodsman?
No, it's Sleepless.
Sleepers?
Sleepers, that's what I meant.
Well, that's ironic because later on Kevin Bacon played a child fucker in that movie, The Woodsman. Have you not seen that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he plays this...
Well, he's one of the Bacon brothers. He doesn't give a fuck what people look
Bacon.
at.
There's more than one Bacon?
Yeah, they have a band called the Bacon Brothers. You never heard it?
No.
It's
Did
bad.
any of them act other than him?
No, just him, but his brothers.
So it's not like the Baldwins.
They were like on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno a couple of times and everything. I can't believe you've never heard of the Bacon Brothers. Who hasn't?
Not aware of the Bacon Brothers.
They sing songs about my baby wants me to play her the guitar, stuff like that.
So the reanimator guy and the retarded mechanic guy show up to the Halloween party to grab the mailman and take him to show him the Scarecrow, which is now gone.
Yeah, during, like, he just got rejected by a little girl, too. So he's like, I'm dealing with shame.
He's going to have a couple of drinks
balls.
and
yeah,
just wants to drink it off, but these guys want to shove this goddamn Scarecrow back in his face. They go to look, and of course it's gone. And then this is when the mailman goes back to Bubba's mother and, like...
Now he's super aggressive.
Yeah.
He's, like, grabbing her and everything. He's, like, physically...
Bubba's mom, I don't know if she's, like, asleep and comes down and finds the door, like, open and the screen door knocking against the frame. Then she shuts it and she goes to sit by the fire and he's, like, crouched behind her rocking chair. And he reaches through from behind and grabs her on the mouth and starts yelling at her about how he knows that it's her and that she needs to fuck off and... Then he lets go of her and discovers that she's had, like, a heart attack or something.
Yeah, she dies.
Yeah.
He's killed the whole family now. Now he's freaking out. He didn't freak out when he killed Bubba.
So he goes to leave and the tea kettle screams and gets his attention, and he runs over to the stove and blows out the pilot light and turns the gas on and just leaves and waits for the house to explode.
Yeah, this guy's all kinds of fucking criminal activity in this movie.
Yeah, he kills more people in this movie than the Revenge Scarecrow does.
Yeah. Well,
he kills Bubba, he kills her mom, he kills his buddy.
Yeah.
The Revenge Scarecrow only kills 2 people.
3. His 2 other buddies and him. It's tied. It's a tie.
I suppose.
Yeah, the wood chip.
Well, that guy kind of kills himself. He runs into the...
Because of...
I suppose.
All right. Well, that's the very end. Don't say that yet.
Yeah, he blows up the house, and then, like, the Reanimator guy...
Bride of the Reanimator.
Yeah, the Bride of Reanimator guy is back at his pig farm, and he hears, like, some clanging against the side of his silo and goes to check it out, and winds up getting trapped inside of it, and just...
Yeah, the grain.
Drowns in corn or grain or whatever.
Yeah. Didn't you say this is the second... The other, another...
Oh, yeah, there's another...
Corn.
Death by Corn in that Sleepwalkers, that Stephen King movie that Mick Garris did, where the Catwoman shapeshifter lady stabs a cop in the back with an ear of corn and says something like, no vegetables, no dessert.
Yeah. Would you consider... Could we have done Sleepwalkers for a werewolf?
Train wreck? No, for the werewolf? Well, I mean, at that point, we could have done cat people.
Yeah, never mind.
It's just a shapeshifter movie.
Also, we forgot Silver Bullet on the werewolf episode.
Yeah, that was
my top 5.
A glaring overlook.
And it was in that same era.
So, drown in grain or corn or what the Christ ever. And then the mailman goes to the mechanic. They start freaking out, talking about how it's Bubba back for revenge, and the mailman's solution to that is to take the mechanic to the graveyard and exhume the body and prove to him he's dead.
And at this point, I'm like, why does he need this retard? He needs him to keep his mouth shut, but other than that, what does he need help for?
I have no idea.
All he is doing, the retard's freaking out, all he's trying to do is console him, to tell him everything's okay and not fucked up. But he could have just, like...
I think he's just trying to, like, the guy keeps saying that they need to go to the cops, they need to go to the cops. Yeah, so the only way to protect themselves is to go to the cops, and that's why he keeps trying to calm him down, is just to...
It's because he doesn't want to kill
doesn't want him to go to the cops.
Well, he doesn't want to kill him, because he could have killed him right away.
Right, yeah, he could have killed him in the garage and just dropped the goddamn car on him, but...
But maybe he made the retard dig, and he didn't want to dig.
They were both digging.
Oh, okay. Well,
but I imagine that he made the retarded guy do the bulk of the work.
Yep, that's why I wanted him alive.
So they discover that Bubba's body is, in fact, in its grave.
And that's the thing we had to return to, because I think we were talking when it happened. Yeah, we didn't know if the body was there or not, because it doesn't show it.
Yeah, we were talking, and the reaction scene is very loud and hectic, and... After they find the body, the guy jumps out of the grave and goes running, and the fucking mailman like dives off of a headstone and tackles him.
It's
and
like
there's
some
this
parkour scene.
There's this weird, passionate, soothing scene in the dirt where he like cradles him and kisses his head, and this is going to be okay.
It's like the mafia; they'll kiss you before they kill you.
I don't know what. Yeah, maybe that's what it was, kiss of death, because right after that, he leads him back over to the grave to fill it back in and clubs him over the head with a shovel and buries him with the body.
So now it's just him left.
Yeah, just the mailman, and he's like leaving the cemetery in his mail truck, drinking heavily, swerving all over the place.
On the road. Sees the girl.
Yeah, she's in the middle of the road, and he swerves at her and chases her down this ravine in his fucking mail Jeep and crashes it and falls out and continues on foot. I think it's all the way back to Bubba's property.
Close to. It's in the cornfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the combine starts without, anybody behind the wheel and starts chasing him down.
Which is a really glaring thing in the movie that we're both yelling, like, go to the left or right.
Yeah, run left, run right. Why run in a straight line away from something that takes like 2 minutes to make a complete turn?
Yeah.
That's why Christine is not an effective horror film. Christine is an effective film about obsession and psychological disorder, but as a horror film, it's bullshit, because to avoid Christine, just climb a tree or run to the left.
Stay up in your apartment.
Yeah, don't leave the house.
Yeah. Call the cops.
So he runs like in a straight line away from this combine directly into the Bubba Scarecrow, which is holding the pitchfork that they placed in its hands.
Yeah. But it even shows when the tractor thing starts that there's no one in control of it. It's the gears are getting shifted by itself.
You were on the fence through a lot of the movie as to whether or not